YA nerds, Reading Gru here with another review. Today we're going to be talking about One of Us is Lying. This book has been on the bestsellers for a pretty long time, actually. I'm actually kind of ashamed of myself that it took me a really long time to pick this up. A friend of mine had said that it was amazing. I remember reading the back of it and thinking like, this sounds like The Breakfast Club with a murder mystery, and I guess I wasn't too far off from that because that's what everyone's been saying about this book since it came out. So for the details on this, it's 361 pages, it's not that long, and it came out May 30th, 2017. Again, why did I take so long to read this book? So I'm going to read to you guys the inside cover with what it's about. Pay close attention. You might solve this. On Monday afternoon, 5 students at Bayview High walk into detention. Bronwyn, the brain, is yell-bound and never breaks a rule. Addie, the beauty, is the picture-perfect homecoming princess. Nate, the criminal, is already on probation for dealing. Cooper, the athlete, is the all-star baseball pitcher. And Simon, the outcast, is the creator of Bayview High's notorious gossip app. Only Simon never makes it out of that classroom. Before the end of detention, Simon's dead. And according to the investigators, his death wasn't an accident. On Monday, he died. On Tuesday, he'd planned to post juicy reveals about all 4 of his high-profile classmates, which makes all 4 of them suspects in his murder. Or are they just the perfect patsies for a killer who's still on the loose? Everyone has secrets, right? What really matters is how far you would go to protect them. So, One of Us is Lying. I don't even know where to start. It has been severely long. It's been so severely long since I've had a book that's completely consumed my entire soul and life and being. I took this book out of the library on Friday. I finished it by Saturday at like 5 p.m. And I think I had work between those two things. Like I went to work at 6 p.m. I got out of work at 6 p.m. on Friday. I had already started the book before I got out. And then like had work from 9 to 5 on Saturday and finished the book by, I don't know, I guess it might have been like maybe 8 p.m. I was done. Completely done with this book. I literally couldn't put it down. I ate dinner with my face in this book. I did some work things with my face in this book. When you're a librarian, you sit at a desk for a long time with nothing to do, so I read. I literally had a hard time like stopping when people like, or like when my coworkers were talking to me, or like I needed to get up and do something. I was like, wait, I gotta, one more page, hold on, one more, and even like the night I got home from work, like I said, I ate dinner with my nose in this book. I spent like 3 hours reading it after dinner. I really couldn't put it down. I was actually surprised that it was even on the bookshelf. Like at work. I really expected it to be out. It had been out for a while and like not coming back. You know, a lot of libraries have like 28-day loan periods. So like that's a whole month. Came out in May. I think one person rented it and renewed it. And I got it for 2 months. And I've just been waiting forever for this book. So like I said earlier, I've heard a lot of amazing things about this book. I knew it was on the bestsellers for a reason. And really, I mean, how bad could the Breakfast Club thriller be, really, in the long run? Usually with thrillers, I don't like them because I can usually, like, see what's gonna happen before it happens. Like, we just read, my book club and I just read, I'm not going to say the title, but we just read a thriller where there's a young girl who's the main character. She survived something horrific, and her past comes back to haunt her with the horrific thing that happened to her. And honestly, like, from one of the first scenes in the book where she's, like, confronting her past, I knew who the killer was. I knew what had happened to her. I didn't even have to read the rest of the book. In fact, I think I skipped to the last like 3 chapters and read them and was like, oh, I was right. And that's why I hate thrillers, because a lot of them are predictable. A lot of people like to read thrillers and romances because they are predictable, and it's just an easy read for them just to have something to consume in their brains, and that's fine, like, you do you, boo. But for me, it's just boring. I can't get through, I like slog through these kinds of things. So I was a little hesitant because, again, thrillers and I just don't get along. YA and I get along real well. Thrillers, not so much. So I kind of guessed the ending to this book, but I didn't guess it until, I don't know, like 3 chapters before they told us. Like, suddenly things started clicking, and I was like, oh, I know what's gonna happen. Oh my god, I know what happened! And I guessed it right. You know, that being said, I mean, I really loved the journey that the book took me on. Usually when I guess the ending, I'm like, what's the point? But I was like, oh, I get it! But I need to know more! And so I had to finish reading it because I needed to know more. So it was really cool. I think everyone was really well written in the book. Like, I really enjoyed getting to know every character. Every chapter is broken up into different characters, and we kind of get their first person point of view. So we're following each character throughout the story, but like we get like their thoughts and their feelings and like what they're doing separate from everyone else, which is really nice. And sometimes switching POV can be a little annoying, but I think it worked really well with this story because you really do see like where each character is and again what they're thinking, and so you kind of get a nice insight to like the thriller aspect of whodunit. I think that was a perfect pick for this kind of book. Again, like I said, everyone was really well written. Everyone was really believable. Sometimes writers who are older will write about a teen and they just don't sound right. But everything in this book felt like where it needed to be. You know, like the jock is worried about his baseball career, and like at first you're like, oh yeah, it's like every stereotypical jock in high school, but there's like more to it beyond that. Like his father pushes him, and there's this whole thing, and there's expectations, and blah blah. So I think it worked really well. You know, and I really still can't believe that I finished this book in like 24 hours. Because I'm usually not that kind of person. Usually it takes me days and I slog and like, I finished it in record time. I don't even know. I guess I just had to know what was going to happen. And I really wasn't disappointed. So for tropes, as usual, we're going to use the list that I curated using suggestions from my fellow librarians, as well as research that I've done on the internet and my own experiences as a YA reader/librarian. So here they are. Again, the descriptions for them are going to be down in the description for this video. So if you don't know what any of these things mean, or you're confused or whatever, I know sometimes I use weird terminology and language because I'm weird, you could just find them down below. They don't change from video to video, so if you've heard it before, it'll be the same. But yeah. So we got no school, strong/smart female protagonist, broken family units, youths in danger, clueless adults, beauty blind, the brooding bad boy, switching POV, and unusual names. I feel like I say unusual names a lot for these stories, but I feel like every time I read a new YA, like someone's throwing a weird name in there. Like, I mean, this isn't that weird, but like Bronwyn is a really interesting name. It's unusual to me. I haven't heard that name in like a really long time. There's even a couple other like side characters who have kind of strange names. So I'm sorry I keep reusing that trope over and over again. It just feels like it's a really big thing now in YA to have somebody with an unusual, interesting name. And when I do say unusual name, I don't mean anything negative by it. I just mean it's something I haven't heard in a while. I mean, who the heck hears Rue? Let's be honest. As for the rating, I'm gonna give it an 11 out of 10. Would plow through this again. Again, I really like, I don't know, I really cannot put more words into it because I did love this book so much, but if I keep talking about it, you're not gonna want to read it because I'm gonna give everything away, and it's just better to be a mystery, and just take my word for it. If you like The Breakfast Club and you like thrillers or high school stories and if you just like The Breakfast Club, read the book. Just read it. Just read this book, because it's so good. For my favorite part, no spoilers, kind of. There's this part where we're following Addie around. She's the beauty in the whole situation. She's got this long, gorgeous blonde hair, yada yada. That's about as much as you need to know to understand what's happening here. When I get out front after the last bell, there's nothing. No news vans, no reporters. So I text Ashton that she doesn't have to pick me up and take the opportunity to ride my bike home. I stop at the extra long red light on Hurley Street, resting my feet on the pavement as I look at the stores in the strip mall to my right. Cheap clothes, cheap jewelry, cheap cellular, and cheap haircuts. Nothing like my usual salon in downtown San Diego, which charges $60 every 6 weeks to keep split ends at bay. My hair feels hot and heavy under my helmet, weighing me down. Before the light changes, I angle my bike off the road and over the sidewalk into the small parking lot. I lock my bike on the rack outside Supercuts, pull off my helmet, and go inside. Hi! The girl behind the register is only a few years older than me, wearing a flimsy black tank top that exposes colorful flower tattoos covering her arms and shoulders. Are you here for a trim? A cut. Okay, we're not super busy, so I can take you right now. She directs me to a cheap black chair that's losing its stuffing, and we both gaze at my reflection in the mirror as she runs her hands through my hair. This is so pretty. I stare at the shining locks in her hand. It needs to come off. A couple inches? I shake my head. All of it. She laughs nervously. To your shoulders, maybe? All of it, I repeat. Her eyes widen in alarm. Oh, you don't mean that. Your hair is beautiful. She disappears from behind me and reappears with the supervisor. They stand there conferring for a few minutes in hushed tones. Half the salon is staring at me. I wonder how many of them saw the San Diego news last night and how many think I'm just an overly hormonal teenage girl. Sometimes people think they want a dramatic cut, but they don't really, the supervisor starts cautiously. I don't let her finish. I'm beyond tired of people telling me what I want. Do you guys do haircuts here? Or should I go somewhere else? She tugs at a lock of her own bleach blonde hair. I'd hate for you to regret this. If you want a different look, you could try... Shears lie across the counter in front of me, and I reach for them. Before anyone can stop me, I grab a thick handful of hair and chop the whole thing off above my ear. Gasps run through the salon, and I meet the tattooed girl's eyes, shocked eyes in the mirror. Fix it, I tell her, and so she does. I don't know if you guys notice I have short hair, and I cut it off from when it was like this long to this long, so for me, I get it. And I totally understand that whole thing where the salon is going, oh, hem-ha, let's not go, let's do it in increments. I was like, take it off. So I really loved that part. It definitely resonated with me on like a different level. For the age range, I'm gonna say 15, 16, 17 plus. There's some cursing in it, a couple sexual situations. I think a 15-year-old would be able to understand everything that's going on pretty easily. So a 16 and 17-year-old would definitely get it. I actually sold this book to a 14-year-old boy recently. He was a high reading level, so it was fine. And I did warn him ahead of time, like, oh, just to let you know, XYZ. His mom was fine with it. You know, they'd watched The Breakfast Club a couple of times, so when I said it's like The Breakfast Club, she was like, we're reading it. I haven't seen him back. That's a good thing, because sometimes people return my recommendations and I'm sad about it. But he never returned the book. I think he came back, but I haven't been on the sales floor in a while. So yeah, I mean, maybe a high reading level 14 if you're good at talking to them about, you know, different things like that. But definitely 15, 16, 17 I think is like prime perfect age for this book. So that's One of Us is Lying. Let me know if you guys want me to read anything specific. I did get a couple of suggestions from my good friend Paris at work. Hi, Paris. And I have to write them down still. I'm like the worst with that. So I'll probably get to that soon. And yeah, if you like what you see and you want to see more of me babbling on camera, feel free to like and subscribe down below. You'll get updates and notifications when I update, which is every other Thursday up until the end of time, or I run out of books to read, which isn't possible. As a heads up, I did get an ARC for a YA book that's like super popular that's coming out in March. I won't tell you the name, but I'm really excited to review it. It is really good so far. I'm only 100 pages in and I can't put it down. And I think next week, or the next time I film, we're going to be talking about one of two books. There's either a feminist book that I really liked, or there's this really great book that takes place like in Regency times that's about like this bisexual guy going on a grand tour before he has to settle down and live his life as a duke. I think it's a duke. I could be wrong. But yeah, so that's it for me, and, you know, keep on reading, YA nerds.